Hello everybody and welcome back to the Rotoscopers YouTube. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my spoiler review of Pixar's new fantasy adventure film, Onward. So if you want to go on this review quest with me, then keep on watching. First and foremost, this is a spoiler review of Onward. If you want our non-spoiler review, then check out Chelsea's review right here. And also, if you want to know all the spoilers for the film, because I'm not going to go through the entire plot right now, but I do in this video right here, check that video out where I give all the spoilers to the entire film. Onward is a story about two brothers who live in a magical world, or a formerly magical world, but this world is inhabited with all sorts of magical creatures. There are elves, there are sprites, there are unicorns, there are mermaids, basically anything that you would imagine in a fantasy adventure, a novel, a movie, it's there. But the problem is that magic got too hard for the people long ago. Magic used to be everywhere and now it's nowhere because technology took over things like the light bulb, cars, indoor plumbing. It's gonna be big. And so there really is no need for magic anymore. Now, I actually really liked the premise of this film. This is kind of what I imagined The Good Dinosaur was going to be like, where it's a modern world, but it has elements of an old world that doesn't exist anymore. And so we have all these creatures, the Lightfoots as they're known, our main characters, Ian and Barley. They are elves, and there's just all these other creatures that they live together, and it's these magical creatures that are just in a modern setting. And that's what I thought The Good Dinosaur was going to be, that it was going to be dinosaurs, that somehow the meteor missed the earth and dinosaurs were now living in a modern setting where there were houses and cars, but they're also still dinosaurs. And to be honest, that's why I actually didn't like The Good Dinosaur, because it didn't end up being that, and to me it was so much cooler to have dinosaurs with cars and planes and trains and all of those fun things. Anyways, this isn't a review of The Good Dinosaur, but I am really excited because they brought those elements into Onward, and it was really fun to see all of these magical creatures and just ideas in this modern setting. The characters are really strong in this. The strongest relationship and characters are obviously the two brothers. They are so different. You have Ian, who's not confident in himself. He never got to meet his dad because his dad died when he was just a baby, so he has all this internal strife and conflict because he really misses his dad, and all these amazing things he only gets to hear second person account from other people or seeing pictures. He has just grown up not being very confident. He doesn't really have any friends. He's learning how to drive and he's not very good at it. And then we flip to Barley, who is the older brother. He recently graduated. He's sort of in a gap year where he's not necessarily doing anything. He's not going to college or working or being a productive member of society, if you will. But what he is doing is he's really into magic. He plays this game called Quests of Yore, which is sort of a Dungeons and Dragons style game, and he's all about preserving the ancient relics around town and preventing those from being destroyed. And so he's definitely an activist, a magic activist, if you will, and he's totally nerdy, and he's so into the hey, let's go on a quest. And I think he is so endearing and fun. He's supposed to be this total loser, just this didn't amount to anything, but I find him so cute and endearing. I love him. He was my favorite. He's voiced by Pratt, who I just love and adore to death. He is amazing and do no wrong. The relationship between the two brothers I felt was very believable and realistic. I really could believe that those two were brothers and had that relationship, and they are so fun together. And they are the heart of the story. Yes, the dad is involved, but because he's just kind of legs, he's not really an active participant in the story. He's more of just a tag along, and it's all about the brothers, and it really does come to a really dramatic point at the very end where Ian gives up this opportunity to be with his dad, to meet his dad, to talk to his dad. He's been working so hard the past 24 hours to make it happen, and he does this selfless act of service and gives Barley that chance to say goodbye to his dad. Ugh! The tears, they were flowing. So again, the brothers and their relationship was the strongest part of this film that I really did love, and they carried it so well. Now the other characters, I loved the Manticore. She was hilarious and funny, and I'm glad that she wasn't just a one-off character. We go into the tavern, we get the map or whatever, and we leave, where we actually get to see more of her as she travels with the mom to give them the sword and to save the day. So they have some funny impact. The mom is is great. And I actually really liked that this didn't have too big of a cast of characters. There weren't so many people that we needed to focus on. There's basically the mom, the boyfriend, the Manticore, the two brothers, and there's a few ancillary other characters. But for the most part, it's really just this family. And I loved it so much. And I really did appreciate the small cast. Now, like I was talking about with the world building, I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And this is something we've seen since the very beginning trailers, but just how modern society has sort of taken a toll on this world. I love that the unicorns are something that us, as people who do not have unicorns, we idolize as these glorious, beautiful, majestic beings. But in this world, they are essentially just raccoons. They are vermin and dumpster divers, and no one really cares. Which makes me wonder why Barley would put one on his van. Imagine, that's like seeing someone with a raccoon on their van, like a glorious flying raccoon. We'd be like, huh? So yeah, no wonder people thought he was a weirdo. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the idea of this quest because the quest felt very formulaic and it seemed like a video game almost where go here, now go here, now go here, follow the clues, go here, go here, go here. It really did feel like a video game that I was playing where I was getting the characters where they needed to go and less like a movie. And the very beginning was cool when they went to the Manticore's tavern, but as it kept going on, I kind of was losing interest because it felt like insert another quest plot point here. If I compare it to other films like, I don't know, National Treasure, am I really mentioning National Treasure? Or Indiana Jones, I felt like the quest aspect in those movies didn't take me away as much as this one. I don't know, I guess it just felt like a little too meta how the beginning of the quest started from the game that's essentially a quest, and I don't know. So I didn't love that. Did you love that? Was I the only person who felt this way? Did you feel like you were watching a video game? That being said, I did like the elements of the quest, how it's never the easy path that you expect, and Raven's Point particularly was pretty fun. Another issue that I had was the elements of magic and how it was almost too easy for Ian. It seemed like, oh, magic has been lost, sort of like the ring. It was a fable, it was a myth, it was a legend. And then here he is, and within 24 hours, he goes from not being able to do anything to mastering the hardest spell in the land. And there's really only 3 basic things to magic, and then you got it. Like, I don't know. I know there was this book, this kind of like guidebook of magic, but it just seemed like it was too easy. And again, it was too formulaic. There were like the 3 things that he had to do to master magic. And he did one, and then he was able to do the next one, and then do the next one. And then finally, arcane lightning! And another issue that I had is it seemed like everyone had just completely forgotten magic altogether, except Barley. It seemed no one had any interest in magic, and he was just the one weirdo kook who was still into magic. And I have a hard time believing that. I have a feeling that if magic was involved, there would be so many more people. There would be clubs. I guess they kind of allude to that when the Manticore's like, no, there's been too many people going on quests and getting hurt, and I can't risk it anymore. And so maybe they were just kind of just one-off people, but it just seemed like it was just so easy because he was the one person who knew about magic and was able to help Ian. And then also, I was really, really confused with the Phoenix gem because, okay, if it's so rare, they were able to get it in 24 hours, and then no one had figured out that the Phoenix gem just happened to be like right there by the school, using, like, had no one else attempted to go on this quest before? That really, really confused me. Or does this sort of like in a video game where anyone can go on this quest and then the gem would like reappear for the next player? So many questions. Why it was so easy to get the gem. I mean, it was hard, we get it, but it was 24 hours and you were done. Like, check. It would have been kind of interesting if they introduced some antagonists, other people who were trying to get the gem. We already had the ticking time bomb element with the 24-hour countdown that was really giving us urgency to move forward. But I think another layer you could have done was to have other people searching for this and realize if they get it, then our chance to meet our dad is over. So not only are we have to do it in 24 hours, but we have to get it before these other people do. Kind of like a rat race. Did I really mention rat race? And I know people have said this before, but to me, this just did not feel like a Pixar film. I don't know what it was about it, but it was missing that Pixar element that just really made these stories stand out. And it had so many good things. You know, I liked the modern day setting in a magical world. I liked the relationship of the brothers so much. And I don't know, the quest element and just how that all came together, I think was what threw me off, and just how magic was in this world. I also thought it kind of weird that, you know, people had basically de-evolved. You know, the sprites didn't know how to use their wings, and the Manticore didn't know how to use their wings, but then conveniently Ian talks to them and mentions like, hey, you should fly. Boop, then they're able to figure out how to fly like very quickly. You're telling me you're able to overcome years of de-evolution and biology to get your wings to come out and work? It's like how certain birds have wings, but they just simply can't fly. No matter how hard they try. I just have a feeling like these creatures can't fly anymore. Another thing is like, how many years has it been since magic went away? That was never quite clear. Was it a couple decades? Was it a couple hundred? Was it thousands? I would have liked that to help ground me of how close or far away we were from the magical realm. But I really did like the ending of it. I loved how Ian gave that sacrifice to his brother. And that really was, like I said, the core of the element of the story was that brotherly love and that relationship between them. So all in all, I liked this movie, but something felt off. Again, it didn't quite feel like Pixar to me, and I felt like I was just watching someone play a video game versus watching a movie. And there were pieces of the quest and elements of magic that were just a little too easy for me. I would have liked them to try a little bit harder, but ultimately it's the brothers that save the day. So with that, I am going to give this movie 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't absolutely love it. I probably won't be going back and watching it again. It's probably one of my lower tier Pixar films, but it still was a really fun time and very enjoyable. All right, let me know on a scale of 1 star, or I guess 0 stars if you're that person, to 5 stars, what would you rate Onward? Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know also if there's any other videos that you want me to do on Onward or anything Disney Pixar animation. Let me know. I'm here to record more videos just for you. Until next time, I'm Morgan, and this is the Rotoscopers YouTube. Ian is voiced by Spider-Man. What's his name?